Bit of an embarrassing moment for the Canadian government. Several First Nations chiefs have gone to Cuba to request doctors to come in and serve the communities inside of Canada that are being left unserved by the Canadian government. Now, the Grand Chief Jerry Daniels of the Southern Chiefs Organization made an announcement at a media conference in Havana on Friday where he discussed the possibility of having the doctors from Cuba come into the First Nations reservations to serve the public due to a lack of doctors in these areas. And they've spent the past week discussing a potential partnership with the Communist Nation, which includes sending many First Nations people to the Latin American School of Medicine, Cuba's international medical school, the one that underprivileged people from around the world can go to get a doctorate in medicine for free. Now, there was no confirmation of an actual agreement, so there's nothing written in stone yet, but this is something that they are working on right now and, frankly, discussing, which comes at a very interesting time when the issue of the pipeline is still ongoing and a lot of the native land is still being violated by the RCMP. Violence is being carried out by the protesters who want to stop the pipeline from potentially destroying what's left of their land. I mean, they don't have much of it left, and frankly, there's a huge risk to it being destroyed. As we already saw with the Keystone XL pipeline, remember, the Keystone pipeline has already caused another spill and has already done the damage. Now, it's interesting, I noticed something in the article. It said that there was they phrased it, the free Cuban doctors that Cuba sends all over the world all the time. They said they basically, in an underhanded way, suggested that it wasn't true, that there wasn't, thousands of Cuban doctors that work around the world, that go into the poorest people in the world and give them health care. Well, it is there. Cuban doctors are generally the first to volunteer for any kind of disaster around the world. And for, the CBC, the journalists in the CBC, to suggest that somehow it's not real, or to, in a very underhanded way, plant the idea that it's not real, is incredibly disgusting. I mean, these people go around the world and volunteer and sacrifice. They don't just go and then live in some, nice walled off area. They live with the people that they're serving and then help them, I believe it is, for 6 months or something, or a year, depending on, what it is that they agree to do. I believe the minimum is 6 months. And then for the CBC to just turn around and basically underhandedly claim that it's not real or that the program might not exist is frankly disgusting. Meanwhile, there's a real crisis here in Canada with a lack of doctors in First Nations communities, and they seem to be just completely looking the other way on that one. So rather than reporting that there's a problem with healthcare in Canada when it comes to First Nations people, they would rather turn around and essentially go after the fact that they're reaching out to Cuba for help. So I think that shows a little bit more of the bias that the bourgeoisie have in terms of reporting facts, which ones they choose to focus on and which ones they like to, in a way, sweep under the rug. Thank you for watching. If you like this program, then please head over to my Patreon page and set up a monthly donation. It's your donations that keep this program running. Also, if you would like, please rate, comment, subscribe, and share in various social media.